ARMY's last gamble. If this project fails, Jimin and Jungkook may lose everything in the underbelly of HYB's silent corridors, where history is crafted behind soundproof doors. A single truth is echoing louder with every passing day. If this project fails, it will not only alter the future of BTS, it might mark the irreversible end of Jimin and Jungkook as a duo. The stakes are no longer artistic, they're existential. How did it come to this? How could a collaboration between two of K-pop's most iconic figures transform from a fan's dream into a make-or-break moment so colossal that even the walls of the industry seem to tremble? Inside sources from HYB's production teams have begun leaking whispers of a duo project years in the making, one that has left both Jimin and Jungkook emotionally exposed and professionally cornered. Unlike typical subunit releases designed to entertain or fill the gaps between solo comebacks, this project is nothing short of a full-scale risk. A raw, emotionally saturated gamble that may redeem or ruin. Both men are no strangers to pressure, but this time, they are not simply artists releasing music. They are men confronting themselves. According to those with knowledge of the sessions, the project is less of a musical release and more of a confessional, deeply personal, quietly volatile, and heavy with the weight of unresolved history. This isn't just about music. This is about pain, about brotherhood, about truths that have long remained sealed behind tight-lipped professionalism and perfectly orchestrated performances. The emotional toll is already visible. A production halt reportedly occurred after one recording session became so overwhelming that both artists left the studio without a word. Witnesses say Jungkook abandoned the booth mid-take, visibly shaken. Jimin, silent and stunned, followed. Neither returned that night. One source explained, it wasn't just the lyrics. It was what the lyrics forced them to remember. Fans have long admired the chemistry between the two. Their harmony in We Don't Talk Anymore, their sentimental bond in Friends, and countless behind-the-scenes interactions that have sparked admiration and speculation alike. But what the public never saw was the strain, the misunderstood silences, the long-distance closeness, the personal sacrifices buried beneath years of touring, cameras, and global acclaim. This project, insiders say, is a reckoning, and it's not small. Far from being just a digital single or EP, the rumored structure includes an entire short film anthology, a conceptual visual album, integrated choreography narratives, and possibly even a global mini-tour. But the deeper issue isn't scope, it's soul. The authenticity pouring into this project has created friction even within HYB itself. Conflicting opinions have emerged from internal review boards. Some team members worry the lyrics are too revealing, too specific, too raw. Others fear that releasing such an emotionally naked body of work could invite unnecessary scrutiny. But both Jimin and Jungkook reportedly held their ground. One staff member recalls their exact words, "If we can't be honest, then there's no point." And yet, honesty comes with consequences. This may be their one and only attempt at this kind of duo project. Not because they don't want it, but because they can't afford it to fail. Commercially, emotionally, or reputationally. Should it underperform, insiders warn, the wounds it opens might never heal. The silence from HYB only intensifies the speculation. No press statements.
Noticers.
No countdown banners on the main page. Just a whisper campaign growing stronger with every blurry photo, every leaked vocal fragment. A 27-second audio clip on a now-deleted SoundCloud link has been dissected by millions. Its final whisper, "I'm sorry," still echoes in the minds of armies across the globe. Behind the scenes, tension is rising. Jungkook, known for his relentless perfectionism, is said to be spending nights alone in the studio, obsessively mixing and remixing one particular track. Meanwhile, Jimin has been spotted leaving the HYB compound late at night, clutching what fans speculate to be a notebook filled with handwritten lyrics. These are not the behaviors of artists following a schedule. These are the signs of men burdened by something they must say, no matter the cost. And the cost is high. This is no longer about chart positions or streaming milestones. It's about legacy, redemption, closure. For the first time, even Bang Si-hyuk, usually detached from frontline productions, has taken a personal interest. He's been seen attending sessions, reviewing lyrics line by line. His social media activity, cryptic, deliberate, has only added fuel to the fire. A seemingly meaningless Instagram repost, a like on an old Jimin lyric, a comment deleted in seconds. Patience. To some, it was an accidental confirmation. To others, it was a warning. Speculation has reached fever pitch. Global fan accounts claim a hidden countdown has appeared deep within HYB's official website code, visible only through back-end inspection. Could this be the prelude to the announcement? Meanwhile, stylists affiliated with the duo have been photographed gathering matching concept outfits, rumored to symbolize duality, perhaps even a fusion of personas. There is even talk of an international distribution deal being negotiated with a major American label, signaling that this isn't a Korea-only drop. Columbia Records, say some insiders, has already sent a senior executive to Seoul to secure rights for global syndication. Every move is being watched, every silence analyzed. And ARMY, eternally alert, is beginning to prepare for impact. But what if it all crashes? What if the album flounders? If critics misunderstand the message? If the intimacy they've dared to share with the world is met not with open arms, but with ridicule? The emotional stakes are so elevated that HYB has reportedly drafted internal damage control protocols should the project be met with divisive reactions. Because this isn't just art. It's vulnerability weaponized. Even industry veterans are watching. A senior editor at Billboard Korea recently penned an editorial suggesting that this project, if real, could redefine the standard for global pop collaborations. Not because of scale, but because of courage. They aren't chasing hits, the editor wrote. They are chasing truth. That truth, however, is heavy. The project appears to explore unresolved narratives from the earliest days of BTS, their teenage years, the silent competitions, the misunderstood intentions, the mutual admiration clouded by divergent growth paths. It's a story of two individuals shaped by the same fire, yet scarred in different places. Some fans believe the duo had a recent reunion that cracked the emotional floodgates. Others insist the entire concept was born during a reflective session late last year, when both artists independently faced personal and creative burnout. One anonymous source described that moment simply: they stopped pretending they were okay. And perhaps that's what the project is, a refusal to pretend any longer. This time, there are no colorful concept trailers, no pop-oriented pre-singles, no leading radio hits. What is coming is a message, disguised as music, a love letter, a confession, a war cry, maybe all at once. But if it doesn't resonate, they won't try again. Not because they don't care, but because caring hurts too much. For Jungkook and Jimin, this may be the final act of artistic liberation they can afford. And if the world misunderstands, then silence may follow, indefinitely. And that's what terrifies fans the most. Not failure, but the idea that they may never hear their voices together again. Because behind all the polished choreography, the sold-out stadiums, the diamond certifications, there were always two boys who sang not for glory, but for connection. To each other, to us. And now, that connection is on the line. Are we ready to receive it? Or will this be remembered as the song that shattered the silence and left nothing but echoes? One thing is certain, the clock is ticking. The rumors are no longer whispers. And when this project finally surfaces, if it ever does, it will either be the most powerful statement in K-pop history or the most devastating farewell. The future of Jimin and Jungkook as a duo, perhaps even as artists willing to expose their true selves again, hangs in the balance. This is the bet, and they've put everything on the table. The tipping point, Jimin and Jungkook's alleged project, fact or fabrication. call for critical reflection in the wake of overwhelming speculation and the emotionally charged discourse surrounding the alleged high-stakes collaboration between BTS's Jimin and Jungkook. A pivotal question must now be posed with the utmost gravity. Are we, as the global audience, witnesses to a historical creative endeavor, or merely participants in a carefully engineered illusion crafted to manipulate public sentiment? The previously discussed reports are undeniably compelling. They are saturated with emotional tension, industry intrigue, and narrative elements that mirror the structure of a dramatic screenplay. The vivid portrayals of late-night studio breakdowns, alleged lyric disputes, and silent artistic confessions provide a storyline too powerful to ignore. Yet herein lies the danger. When the story is too perfect, too timely, and too aligned with the emotional expectations of the audience, it becomes necessary, urgent even, to question its authenticity. Consider the nature of the sources. Much of the information currently circulating originates from unofficial leaks, speculative fan compilations, and fragmented data extracted from platforms such as TikTok, YouTube commentary sections, anonymous posts on Twitter, now X, and various non-verified forums. These are not recognized channels of journalism. They are open arenas, chaotic, unfiltered, and vulnerable to manipulation. Can such sources alone provide a reliable foundation for what is now being treated as a cultural event of monumental proportions? It is worth asking. Who stands to gain from this wave of heightened emotional anticipation? Who profits when millions of fans invest emotionally in a story that remains, to this moment, completely unconfirmed? And more importantly, why has no formal statement been issued by any party involved? Neither Jimin nor Jungkook, nor the management entity hybe? The absence of an official position is not merely a neutral silence. It is an active void, one that allows the proliferation of speculation to serve a dual purpose, inflaming public curiosity while conveniently avoiding accountability. Could this deliberate ambiguity be part of a broader media strategy designed to sustain visibility and dominance within a saturated entertainment market? Or is this truly a fragile creative process unfolding in real time, too delicate for premature exposure? We urge every reader to confront these questions with intellectual honesty. Do you genuinely believe that this project exists in the form it has been described, complete with conceptual films, emotionally volatile lyrics, halted production, and personal revelations? Or is it possible that what we are witnessing is a meticulously constructed mythos, born from a few ambiguous signs and then fueled by digital amplification? Examine your own response to this unfolding narrative. Does it rest on confirmed evidence, or on hope, nostalgia, and emotional investment? Have we, as a global fanbase, been conditioned to accept content as truth simply because it aligns with our emotional desires? Let us take a moment to acknowledge the psychological architecture behind such phenomena. Sensationalism thrives not on lies, but on the strategic blending of partial truths with emotionally resonant speculation. A blurry photo, a cryptic lyric, a deleted comment, a tattoo caught under stage light. These fragments are not proof, they are provocations. They invite interpretation, and in doing so, they empower the audience to complete the story themselves, often at the cost of objectivity. This is not an indictment of fans, but a caution to all. Emotional connection is a powerful currency in the entertainment industry, and in the digital era, virality often holds greater value than veracity. Thus, as the mystery surrounding this duo project continues to intensify, the time has come to ask ourselves, are we pursuing truth, or are we clinging to a beautifully told lie? It is entirely plausible that Jimin and Jungkook are indeed working on something deeply personal. Their artistry, their history, and their growth certainly support such a possibility. Yet plausibility is not proof. Speculation is not confirmation. Until verifiable information is released from credible sources, all that we are consuming is narrative potential, not factual certainty. Should we not hold our media to a higher standard? Should we not demand clarity over ambiguity, facts over emotional triggers? In an age of deepfakes, AI-generated content, and algorithmic echo chambers, the lines between reality and fabrication are thinner than ever. If we abandon our responsibility to verify, to reflect, and to critique, we risk becoming passive instruments in a spectacle that feeds off our attention while offering no accountability in return. This leads us to the final, and perhaps most important, set of questions. If this entire phenomenon proves to be unfounded, if there is no project, no confessional album, no impending global announcement, what does that say about the state of media consumption today? Would you feel betrayed? Or would you still defend the emotional journey as valid, even in the absence of truth? And if this story is real, if this project does exist, then are we truly prepared for the emotional gravity it carries? Are we ready to receive it not as mere fans, but as critical witnesses to two human beings exposing their deepest vulnerabilities under global scrutiny? Truth, ultimately, does not fear investigation, but myths thrive in darkness. Therefore, we challenge you, the readers, the fans, the observers, to engage critically. Ask yourselves, what is the origin of this information? Why is it being presented this way? Who benefits from the narrative? And most importantly, do I believe this because it is true, or because I want it to be true? In this era of digital mythology, skepticism is not cynicism. It is survival.